Emily and I have been on the road for about 8 weeks now. We are currently in Marion, North Carolina, where I'm going to do a walkthrough and a little bit of a review of the Tom Johnson RV Park. I'm going to start the entirety of this review by saying that there is nothing of exception or of major note at this RV park. It is a really nice place. There's a lot of grass, a lot of greenery. The RV park itself is a little bit cleared out of trees, but there's trees kind of surrounding everything here. All the pads are concrete on the standard campground side, and that's something that we will talk about, which is there are two sides to this RV park. There is the standard campground side, and then there's the rally side. The pads that are poured are level. Everything on this side, on the standard side of the RV park, is a back-in spot, but they're plenty big, so we're backed in. I actually still could back in another couple of feet and still have space for my truck in front. But let's walk through kind of the amenities of the standard RV park, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the rally side. Even though we're not staying there, we've walked through it several times. We really like it, the space that we have to walk the dogs around here. Starting with check-in, and I'll note here that this is owned by Camping World. So starting with check-in, which is a shared facility with the service department for Camping World, is off to my left right now. It's a big building. There's like a shared common space in the middle where there is a cafe that runs Monday through Friday for breakfast and lunch, and then Saturday for breakfast. We got the breakfast today, and for $6, it's pretty decent. So it's 2 eggs, bacon or sausage. You can have biscuits and gravy, or you can have grits, I guess. But it's a super substantial breakfast for $6, and it's a nice little place to sit. And the third thing that's in that building, or fourth thing, I guess, because you've got service, check-in, the cafe. The fourth thing that's in that building is the bathrooms. So for the men's room and the women's room, there's 3 toilets, 3 showers in each. It is very clean and very well kept. And right behind that is a laundry. So there's 2 washers and 2 dryers. The resort here will not make change for you. You have to have the coins available, and we just happen to travel with coins, so it's not a huge issue. Most places we've gone, it's a credit card swipe or something to that effect, but here it does require coins. So that building is kind of a multi-purpose, lots of stuff going on. Behind the building itself is all the service bays. I will say this, so we checked in on, I guess, Monday this week. Today is Wednesday. So we checked in on Monday. We were coming here from South Carolina from our Harvest Host, so it was only a 90-minute drive, and we had killed our battery. So after we walked the dogs and everything, we really wanted to get on the road and get up here. And we got here probably about an hour before standard check-in. When we arrived, the park was essentially empty. So I went in to check in. The person that does all the check-ins wasn't there, presumably because we were before check-in time, so not a big deal. The folks at service said if we knew our spot, we could just come park and check in later. So that's what we did. I walked down here from the service department, scoped out our spot, made sure I knew where I was going, which way I needed to drive, and we backed into our spot. So that was really nice. It's nice that even though someone's not here from the campground, the service department knows, just get out there, get to your spot. I don't know what they would have done if we didn't already know what spot we were going to be in, but it worked in our case. Remember, for now, I'm really just talking about the campground side. I'm not talking about the rally campground. I will talk about it because there's some kind of major things in play when checking in for that. So that's that area. Right behind me, there's a big open park area. It is just grass. There's no dog park. There's no playground, nothing like that. So all on this side, that's really all there is to talk about. You have the service, the 5 things in the service building up top. You have poured concrete pads with a poured patio as well. Water, sewer, electric, so we're at a 50 amp site. I think a lot of the reviews I read told me that there was not 50 amp in these, but I think every one of these has 50 amp, because I'm looking at, from my vantage point, I know you're looking out this window, but I'm looking out the window across from me. From my vantage point, everything I'm looking at is a 50 amp trailer, minus my direct next door neighbor. And so everybody's plugged in, no issue. So we were a little surprised when we had 50 amp service when we showed up, because every review I had read, or at least a couple of reviews I read, said there was only 30 amp. I'm guessing at this point that they were talking about the rally side and not the standard campground. But yeah, that's it for the standard campground. You have the building up top with those 5 things we've already talked about. You have your poured concrete pad with enough space to park both my trailer, my 28-foot trailer, and my truck. We have the poured patio and water, sewer, electric. We're at spot 35, and I'll say this, if you're looking at the standard campground here at Tom Johnson, I recommend being on one of the ends, because on the end here, I can look out my back window here and there is no one behind me. The first trailer is another 20 feet that way. So I'm just looking out into trees and grass and things like that. Directly behind me, I'm looking onto, the service center is there, but I'm looking onto another big green grass park. And just behind here on this side is that same green grass park. So I have a neighbor here behind the camera. I have a neighbor at the front of my trailer, but really this side here is just completely open. It's really nice. So I've talked about the things that they do have. Now I want to talk about a little bit of the standard RVs or the standard campground site, what we're missing from it. So the first thing we're missing is easy access to a trash can. So there are 2 dumpsters. They're about a 100-yard walk from our trailer. But our trailer is probably as close as you can be to those trash cans. Once you get onto the other side of the park, it's a pretty long way to walk. And when you're cleaning up after dogs, I don't want that in my trash can sitting inside my trailer. So we are going over there. We're going over there frequently. That's number 1. Number 2, there is no dog park at this campground. And by the way, that goes for the rally side as well. I make the assumption, or I think I can make the assumption, that they don't do it because there's 60 sites on this side, which they could absolutely do a dog park for. We've seen it in many other places, but there's 60 sites-ish on this side. There's, by my count, somewhere between 600 and 1,000 on the rally side. My assumption is they don't want to have any liability for dogs getting into fights or anything like that at a dog park. And so they just, rather than have it and have signs up saying basically, use at your own risk, they just chose not to do it. I'm going to step back and I'm going to combine those 2 things. No dog park, trash cans are hard to get to. Well, it means we're picking up dog crap during the day and having to walk it over. On our second day here, they installed 3 dog, dog poop facility or whatever, trash cans and bags around the whole park. So there's one now right across the street from us. There's one at the edge of the standard campground, and there's one in a big park over on the rally side. But that was on our second day here. So they either didn't exist before or they recently pulled them out and just redid them. For the first day or first 24 or 36 hours we were here, we were absolutely having to walk over to the dumpsters. Again, not a major issue, but it is quite a walk to throw your trash. I presume also in that conversation that what Tom Johnson would say is that Monday through Friday they have valet trash. So you can just put your trash at the front of your site and they'll come pick it up Monday through Friday. That doesn't solve my Saturday and Sunday problem, but there is an option. I think that covers most of the standard campground side. So now I want to talk about the rally campground. I just said there's probably somewhere between 600 and 1,000 spots over there. They're all back in, but because of the way they are set up, if you're the first person in your line, they're pull through. So you can pull through as long as nobody is on the back side of you. And we had the option of that when we checked in or when we booked this. We didn't do that because we wanted the concrete pad and just wanted something a little bit more reliable for this stay. So that's number one. They're all grass sites on that side. I didn't look, but I presume, like I said earlier, that the 30 amp, 50 amp thing was because those are probably all 30 amp service over there. The majority of them have sewer. There's a couple of lines or rows that don't, but there are dump stations as you exit those areas, and there's water at all those sites. Also on the Raleigh side, there is another bathhouse, so something like 6 showers per gender, and there are there's like 6 or 8 toilets over there per side. So it works out pretty nice. It's like for 600 to 1,000 sites, probably going to get tight over there, but there's plenty of bathrooms to go around. In addition to the fact that everybody has one in their trailer, or almost everybody has one in their trailer. On the Raleigh side of the campground, there is a playground for kids. There is a pavilion, which presumably is for they have a country music show coming up for 3 days. There's a fireworks show here on the 6th, so I'm assuming they'll use the pavilion for some seating and stuff like that. During a normal rally, I would guess that they're using it for vendors and things like that. So playground, pavilion, there's a couple of basketball courts, or there's a basketball court and a volleyball court over there. And then another giant wide open grass space, probably 2 of them. And my guess is just the big wide open grass areas, they probably have 6 to 8 acres of big open grass areas. And that would be my argument as to why you need a dog park. Clearly that's coming from someone that has 3 dogs that I'm traveling with, but I'll kind of leave that to the side. So really, other than the dog park, this is a very nice campground. I really like it here. It's a great location for us because we're out doing hiking and stuff like that. So we have already hiked Crabtree Falls. We have hiked Linville Falls. We have strolled around Little Switzerland, which is like a little historic town. It's got like a bookshop, it's got a restaurant, a little coffee shop, and then a lodge for people to stay in and kind of overlook the Blue Ridge Mountains. So it's a very, very kind of nice area for that. We got to drive probably 30 or 40 miles on the Blue Ridge Parkway. We still have a couple of days here, and I think we'll do a couple of additional hikes somewhere, but I'm not sure quite where yet. As far as other activities in the area, there's boating, so there's lakes around. There's a river to float, Katawa, something to that effect, that you can go float that river. So there's plenty to do in the area. Yeah. While we were here, I had a couple of maintenance items to take care of. So the first was cleaning the AC vents, which you've already seen several times. So I did that the other day. The second maintenance item I needed to deal with was our tire minder TPMS, which has the i10 monitor thing, I think is i10. It had become an annoyance for us. It constantly said there was no signal. I am sure that it was set up. We set it up improperly the first time we did it. Anyway, it had become an annoyance. I'm going to cut in kind of resetting. We did a reset of the whole thing, and I'll throw that in here. Good morning and welcome to our TPMS is not happy with Cajun Mile. So we've really had this problem since the get-go with the TPMS. It's a tire minder, and it constantly says there is no signal. Today, I'm going to reset the system following the directions from tire minder and then repair everything. It is possible I will also move the signal booster that we have with it. And it is a nice day out. It is pleasant to be outside of the real heat. We weren't really spending a whole lot of time outside in Florida, so now that we can be outside and it's not deathly hot, we're gonna do some projects. So the first thing I'm doing here is turning on the monitor. And you can see it's already reading no signal. It takes it a second sometimes to go ahead and read. And I currently have, so I've got 3 reading with signal and 1 that's not. But even with that one not reading right now, I guess up in the truck it's struggling. So what we're gonna do is go grab the directions and we're gonna go through them to reset this thing. So we're gonna do this. So to get it into reset mode, you hold the 2 external buttons for 5 seconds. It'll beep and go into learning mode. Once it's in learning mode, you hold the right and the middle button, the right and the middle button together for 5 seconds. And now we're gonna go ahead and remove all 4 of these. All right. So I've removed all 4 of them. I'm gonna hit the right and the center button again. Everything is now back to nothing. I have all 4 of these in my hand right now. And so we're gonna start with my right front axle. And that caught, but it's reading 12. So we're gonna move to my passenger side rear axle and see if this one will connect really quick. And that one connected very quickly. Now I'm gonna move to the other side. You're gonna be able to hear me, but you're not gonna be able to see me. So I'm gonna run and do the rear axle first and then the front axle second on the driver's side. So I know you can't see me, but the 2 on this side paired pretty quickly. But I still have this one, my passenger side front tire is reading 12 PSI, which I'm 100% sure is not accurate. So we're gonna pull that one back. We're gonna reset it by holding the middle button. And then I'm gonna screw that one back on. And now it's reading just fine. So now I've got that. So now you can see they're flashing still because I have not finished the learn mode yet, but they're all paired, reading somewhere between 70 and 75. So let's figure out what the last step is to finish the learn mode. Okay, so the last step to take it out of learn mode and back into monitor is to hold those 2 outside buttons again, and it comes out of learn mode and back into monitoring. So that's everything for the learning process. From there, you do need to set like what's your ideal cold temp, and so to do that, you hold the middle button. It'll ask you whether you want to watch in PSI or in bar, monitor, I guess, between PSI and bar. And then Fahrenheit versus Celsius for temperature. So I think I've actually set it up better this time than I did the first time around because it's not scrolling constantly. One of my problems before was it would scroll around, and so I only have 4 tires. I don't need to see 20 different locations. I just need to see those 4. So now I've just got those 4 locations. It seems to be just hanging there. It's monitoring my temperature now, and everything seems to be golden. So I'm gonna walk, I'll take you with me. We're gonna walk to just the front of my truck here and make sure that it's not like losing signal all the way up here. So I'm pretty good and far away. I'm ahead of my truck now, and everything seems to be going just fine. So I think we've corrected that problem. So today I replaced a battery, which we knew was dead. We reset the whole thing to base, relearned the 4 positions, and then set the cold tire pressure,
cold tire. Cold meaning it hasn't been driven yet, but the cold pressure desire, right? So that's all set up and we're good to go. I'm gonna put this back in the truck, but only after turning it off. So it is turned off now and I am setting it back in the truck. Project complete.
Other than all of this, the weather has been amazing here in North Carolina. We had one day of, I'm gonna call it heavy rain. And I happened to be on the phone with Airstream, some Airstream service. So I'll talk about that in a future video, but we're about to get some stuff done on the Airstream here for kind of a comfort level. But I happened to be on the phone with them when this heavy rain started coming in. I could see it off to our north side, and while I was on the phone, I'm also trying to get the dogs inside the trailer. I'm trying to pull down all the awnings, get all that done. Our awnings are holding a little bit of water, so when it rains, it's kind of interesting. You'll pull it down afterwards and it'll dump water on you. Not a big deal. Anyway, that's been our time here in Tom Johnson Campground in Marion, North Carolina. We're also going to put up a Crabtree Falls video, and we may roll in like Linville Falls, Little Switzerland, stuff like that. So you'll get kind of the campground review side, and then you'll get the what we did in the area side. Anyway, thanks for watching. We appreciate you following along with us. Have a great day.